1913, at age 38, Carl Jung saw a vision of Europe drowning in blood. He saw the mighty yellow waves, the floating rubble of civilization, the drowned bodies of uncounted thousands. Then the whole sea turned to blood. Months later, World War I began. Jung wasn't psychic. He was paying attention to something most of us ignore. He spent the next 48 years mapping what he found beneath the surface of the mind. He called them archetypes. By his own estimate, Jung analyzed no less than 80,000 dreams. Swiss bankers, African tribespeople, medieval alchemists, the same patterns appeared everywhere. The word archetype comes from the Greek archetypon, first molded, original pattern. Plato used the concept 2,300 years before Jung was born, and in 1909, Jung had a dream that changed everything. A multi-story house. The top floor was 19th century. The ground floor, medieval. The basement, Roman. Below that, a prehistoric cave with bones and pottery. The dream showed him. Consciousness is the top floor. Below it, the personal unconscious. Below that, the cultural unconscious. And at the bottom, the collective unconscious. Something we all share. He didn't invent archetypes. He discovered them. The same characters appear in every human mind. The hero, the shadow, the trickster, the wise old man. They're not just in stories. They're in you. And if you don't know which one is running your life, you're not driving. You're being driven. You've seen the other Jung videos. The shadow, the persona, a list of 12 archetypes, stock footage of statues and old paintings. They never tell you that every archetype has a myth attached. They never tell you that the myth is the user manual. And they never tell you about the patient who proved it. A man who'd never read ancient texts, describing images from a 2,000-year-old liturgy he couldn't possibly have seen. This is Mindscape Philosophy, Season 2, Jungian Mythology. Today, the archetypes, the ancient map of your mind. But first, the proof. The case that convinced Jung he wasn't imagining things. A patient, diagnosed with what was then called schizophrenia, told Jung about a vision. He saw a tube hanging from the sun. When the sun moved, the tube moved, and the wind came from this tube. Years later, Jung found the exact same image in a 2,000-year-old Mithraic liturgy, a text the patient had never seen, could never have seen. He only occasionally read the newspaper. This was Jung's proof that the collective unconscious is real, not a metaphor, inherited, like instincts. A baby doesn't learn to fear the dark, it's born with that pattern. This is what the other videos skip. Jung didn't speculate about archetypes, he proved them. Across 50 years, 80,000 dreams, and patients who'd never met each other describing the same patterns. Now, let's meet the 7 archetypes that are running your life. Each one has a myth attached, and the myth is the user manual. Archetype 1, the shadow, and its myth, the Minotaur. King Minos of Crete was given a snow-white bull by Poseidon. He was supposed to sacrifice it. He kept it instead. Poseidon made Minos' wife fall in love with the bull. The Minotaur was born, half man, half beast. Minos was so ashamed he built a labyrinth to hide it. Every 9 years, 7 young men and 7 young women from Athens were sent in. They never came out. The Minotaur is your shadow, the part of yourself you're so ashamed of that you built an entire labyrinth to hide it. Your anger, your wildness, your desires, your power. Jung wrote that the shadow displays a number of good qualities: normal instincts, appropriate reactions, realistic insights, creative impulses. It's not a monster, it's a locked room in your house, and the key is in your pocket. But here's what Minos did. He fed the Minotaur other people, young Athenians, innocents. That's projection. When you can't face your shadow, you feed it other people. You make them the problem. Jung. Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. The person who enrages you? That's your Minotaur recognizing itself in them. Archetype 2, the persona, and its myth, Narcissus. Narcissus was a hunter so beautiful everyone fell in love with him. He rejected them all. One day he saw his own reflection in a pool. He fell in love. He couldn't look away. He died there. He didn't know it was himself. He thought it was someone else. That's the persona trap. You forget the image is a construction. The persona is your Narcissus pool, your Instagram grid, your LinkedIn profile, the version of you that shows up at parties. Jung said confusing the mask for your face is how you lose yourself. The myth of Narcissus isn't about vanity. It's about the tragedy of mistaking your reflection for yourself. Archetype 3, the hero, and its myth, Theseus. Theseus volunteered to go into the labyrinth. He wasn't forced. He chose to face the monster. Ariadne gave him a thread. He tied it at the entrance. He went in. He found the Minotaur. He killed it. He followed the thread back out. The hero's journey: descent, confrontation, return. The thread is consciousness, the one thing that lets you go into the darkness and come back. Every culture has a Theseus: Maui descending into the underworld, Gilgamesh crossing the waters of death, Rama facing Ravana. The pattern is identical because the psyche is identical. Joseph Campbell, building on Jung, called it the monomyth: departure, initiation, return. Jung went further. He said the hero's journey isn't a story structure for screenwriters. It's the archetype of individuation happening in your psyche right now. You're in one of 3 stages right now. Departure: you know something's wrong. Initiation: you're in the cave. Or return: you're bringing back what you found. Which one? Archetype 4, the Trickster and its myth, Loki. Loki is the most dangerous being in Norse mythology, and the most necessary. Not a god, not a giant, something in between. He lies, he cheats. He gets the gods into trouble. Sometimes he gets them out. The Trickster is the part of you that breaks rules, not to gain power. To prove rules can be broken. Jung devoted one of his most famous essays entirely to the Trickster in 1954. He traced it from Native American Winnebago. Tales to trickster figures in cave paintings 15,000 years old. Before heroes, before kings, there was the Trickster. The Trickster is why you sabotage yourself the moment things get good. It's why you pick fights when things are calm. It's why you laugh at funerals. The Trickster refuses to be tamed. The question isn't, how do I get rid of my Trickster? The question is, what is my Trickster trying to teach me that my hero refuses to learn? Archetype 5, the wise old man. But before him, a deeper archetype Jung emphasized even more: the wounded healer. Chiron was a centaur. Heracles accidentally shot him with a poisoned arrow. Chiron was immortal. He couldn't die. He lived in constant, incurable pain. And he became the greatest healer in Greek mythology. Jung wrote, "Only the wounded physician heals." Your deepest wound is not your weakness, it's your qualification. The thing that hurt you most is the thing that qualifies you to help others. This is why the best therapists have usually been through hell themselves. It's not the wisdom that heals, it's the scar that proves you survived. And then the wise old man, Merlin, Gandalf, Yoda, the mentor who appears when the hero is lost and disappears when the hero finds their way. But notice, in every story, the wise old man has been wounded too. Merlin was trapped by his own love. Gandalf died and returned. Yoda failed to stop the Sith. The archetype you need isn't the one who knows everything. It's the one who's been hurt and still showed up. Archetype 6, the Anima and Animus, and its myth, Eros and Psyche. Psyche was a mortal woman so beautiful people stopped worshipping Aphrodite. Furious, Aphrodite sent her son Eros to make Psyche fall in love with a monster. But Eros fell in love with Psyche instead. He married her in secret. One condition: she could never see his face. Her jealous sisters convinced her to look. She lit the lamp. She saw a god. Eros fled. Psyche had to descend to the underworld and complete impossible tasks to win him back. She was eventually made a goddess. Jung would say Psyche, the Greek word for soul, had to go through hell to be reunited with Eros, the Greek word for desire. The Anima and Animus is the inner figure of the opposite. It represents what your ego lacks. Every relationship you've ever had has been shaped by this inner figure. You're not just dating a person, you're dating your anima or animus projected onto them. That's why the same pattern keeps repeating. Integration isn't about finding the right partner. It's about finding the part of yourself your ego has been suppressing. Archetype 7, the self, and its symbol, the mandala. The mandala appears in Tibetan Buddhism. Sand paintings created over days, then swept away. In Navajo healing ceremonies, in the rose windows of Chartres Cathedral, in Islamic geometry, and in the drawings of children who've never seen a mandala. Jung painted a mandala every morning, 1913 to 1916, during his confrontation with the unconscious. He wrote, "I knew that in finding the mandala as an expression of the self, I had attained what was for me the ultimate. The self is not your ego. Your ego is the character you play. The self is the entire play, the stage, the lights, the audience, the silence after. It's the totality of who you are. Nobel physicist Wolfgang Pauli came to Jung in crisis, divorcing, drinking, having visions. What began as therapy became one of the most remarkable intellectual collaborations of the 20th century. Pauli recorded over 400 dreams. Jung analyzed them. Together, they developed synchronicity theory, bridging psyche and matter. Jung said the first half of life is building an ego. The second half is letting go of it. Most people never reach the second half. They die protecting a self they built in their 20s. The archetypes are the bridge. But before we bring this together, a question. Carl Jung discovered that the same patterns appear in dreams and ancient myths. Which of these is not one of Jung's major archetypes? A. The shadow. B. The persona. C. The philosopher. D. The self. I'll reveal the answer later. Stay with me. Quiz answer. C. The philosopher. Jung never listed the philosopher as an archetype. There are archetypes of wisdom, the wise old man, the senex, but the philosopher was the name of the man studying archetypes, not one on his own map. One more question. If the Minotaur in the Labyrinth represents your shadow, what does the labyrinth itself represent? A. Society's expectations. B. Your unconscious mind. C. Your childhood trauma. D. The path to enlightenment. Answer at the end of the video. Here's what nobody tells you. Every myth you've ever heard is a map. The characters aren't just characters, they're archetypes. The plot isn't just a story, it's a psychological process. Jung proved this by finding the same patterns in a Swiss banker's dream about killing his father, a 3,000-year-old Greek myth about Oedipus, and a Hindu text about King Yayati. Same pattern, 3 different cultures, 0 contact. The labyrinth isn't in Crete, it's in your unconscious. The Minotaur isn't a monster, it's what you've hidden from yourself. The thread isn't string, it's consciousness, the thin line that lets you go in and come back. In 1999, a film came out that Jung would have recognized instantly, Fight Club. The narrator has no name. He's so identified with his persona that his identity doesn't exist. Tyler Durden appears, charismatic, violent, free. He's everything the narrator suppressed. The twist, same person. Tyler is his shadow, and when the shadow is ignored, unintegrated, it doesn't stay quiet, it takes over. Project Mayhem, the building's collapsing. That's not Hollywood, that's what happens when you don't meet your Minotaur. It meets you. You can find lists of archetypes anywhere. The shadow, the persona, the hero, 12 of them on a blog post with stock photos. What comes next is why this video exists. How do you know which archetype is running your life? And what do you actually do about it? You wake up, check your phone. Who are you right now? Not your name, not your job title. Which archetype grabbed the wheel while you were asleep? If you wake up anxious about what people think of you, persona is driving. If you're scrolling, judging everyone, feeling superior, shadow is driving. Through projection. If you're picking a fight about nothing, stirring drama, breaking something on purpose, Trickster is driving. If you're in a relationship pattern that keeps repeating the same ending, Anima or Animus is driving. The modern world has made all of this worse. Social media is persona amplification on an industrial scale. Cancel culture is collective shadow projection. The infinite scroll is the trickster keeping you distracted while your life burns. In 1957, Jung published The Undiscovered Self. He wrote, "Resistance to the organized mass can be affected only by the man who is as well organized in his individuality as the mass itself." That was before the internet. So here's the question. Which archetype grabbed your wheel this morning? Naming it gives you a choice. Before you named it, it was you. 3 practices. 1. The archetype audit. For the next 24 hours, every time you feel a strong emotion, anger, envy, admiration, shame, pause. Ask, which archetype is active right now? Name it. That's your shadow projecting. That's your trickster sabotaging. Naming it gives you a choice. 2. The myth journal. Tonight, write down the story of your day, but as a myth. The hero woke in a small room, checked the oracle, and was summoned to battle. Notice which archetypes you cast yourself as. Notice which ones you cast others as. You're living a myth right now. Which one? Earlier, I asked which of these is not a Jungian archetype. The answer, C, the philosopher. Jung never listed the philosopher as an archetype. There are archetypes of wisdom, the wise old man, the senex, but the philosopher was the name of the man studying archetypes, not a character on his own map. 7 archetypes, 7 myths. And this is just the map. You've seen the territory, you've named the drivers, but there's one archetype that deserves its own episode, the one most people spend their entire lives running from. Next time, the shadow and the Minotaur, a full episode on the part of yourself you've been hiding from. What's in your labyrinth, and what happens when you finally turn around and face it? That is next time on Mindscape Philosophy. Quiz answer. The labyrinth represents B, your unconscious mind. Jung never used the labyrinth himself as a metaphor. He used the house, the sea, the cave. But the labyrinth fits his model perfectly. Dark, confusing, terrifying at the center. And the only way out is to go all the way in. The Minotaur, your shadow, isn't there to kill you. It's there to be met. And that is the journey of Season 2. Season 1 took you through 14 philosophers, from a Roman slave to the Buddha under the Bodhi tree. Every one of them pointed toward the same truth. Know yourself. Carl Jung gave you the map. 7 archetypes, 7 myths. Tomorrow morning, 1 archetype audit, 1 myth journal, 1 shadow dialogue. That's your practice, that's your path. See you next time. This is Mindscape Philosophy. Season 1 complete. Season 2 begins now. Carl Jung's Archetypes. Next, the Minotaur and your shadow. Subscribe. The labyrinth is yours. The thread is in your hand.